Hello, people. Happy after Turkey Day. I hope that you all are having a fantastic holiday season weekend. Um, Let me just say, shout out to those people who got up and were productive today, first thing in the morning. That was not me. I don't even know why I had a to do list today, why there were things on the to do list today, because the way my body and my mind was set up, they was like, oh, you can do whatever you want to do, but we not going. You gonna have to figure out how to do that without us. So needless to say, I have not been productive today. So I just shout you all out who could eat food and then wake up the next morning and go to work and feel refreshed. And not that I haven't had to do it in years past, but thank God that this is a new season and there is no work for me. Um, so we are continuing our series. And let me just apologize. So I was supposed to do a day 4 yesterday at 9 p.m. When I tell you I was super asleep at 9 p.m., like super sleep. All that food that my mama cooked got up in me and it said lay down. So my apologies. I definitely missed the boat on that. So I'm doing day 4 and day 5 today. I'm not going to do day 5 in this video because I like to keep the video short. But I'm going to jump on in a little bit later to do day 5. Okay. So we've been talking about moving from employee to entrepreneur and the process of startup and, how complicated it can be if you don't have the right information, right? So I talked about earlier in the week how I started this series because I have a lot of people who come to me and ask me different questions about startup. And so I decided to just go ahead and just do a video series helping people with the first initial steps, because what I find is a lot of times we are focused on, and simply because we don't know, right? And I'm guilty. I did the same thing, right? Everything that I get on these videos and talk about, I have also been guilty of, right? So, but a lot of times we're focused on the wrong things, when we're in the midst of transition, right? So the Reset Room is all about transition. It's all about helping people get from one level to the next level. How do I continue to build? How do I continue to grow in the midst of change, right? And so when we're in the midst of transition, one of the things that's really important is for us to focus on where we're at right now, right? So it's good to know where you want to go, and it's good to be able to see a little bit in that direction. But too often, we're longing to be in a different place, right? Like if I'm a entrepreneur, I want to be where I see other people at. They're making money, their business is thriving, things are going well, or at least it appears as if things are going well. And I want to be in that place. But you better be careful for longing to be in a place that you're not actually at. Again, you need to know where you want to go. And you need to have a plan and map out on, how you're going to get there. But you also need to be okay with where you're at right now. And so that's kind of what this series is about, is helping people navigate their right now. The people who are new to startup and are wanting to put together some steps. So all of these steps go in order. Right, so the first one we talked about was identifying your legacy. Again, you can go back and watch any of these videos, so I won't recap all of them. But they do go in order, so it's important that you know your legacy, you know your why you're even considering starting a business. The second one was knowing your gift. I mean, all of these things you got to get crystal clear on, what is your gift? Not just your passion, but what's your gift? What are you called to do? That was day 2. Day 3 was about, what was day 3 known about? 1, 2, 3. Lord Jesus. It's the macaroni and cheese. Okay, that's my mama made this macaroni and cheese. Let me just put a slight detour to what we're talking about, just because I got to get my mind all focused and together. She made the creamiest macaroni and cheese that I've ever had in my life. The creamiest. And when you have too much of the creamy macaroni and cheese, it affects your thinking. It affects your ability to think clearly, okay? And I feel like I got too much macaroni and cheese in my system because I went over and got some more macaroni and cheese this morning. Never mind. It's neither here nor there, okay? It's not relative to how much macaroni and cheese that I had. Okay, so day 1, day 2. Day 3 was all about knowing your strengths, I believe. Let me just make sure I got myself together. Yep. So knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. So you learn a little bit about your strengths in day 2 in terms of your gifts and your purpose. But day 3 is about also knowing your weaknesses in addition to some of the other strengths that are going to support your gift, right? We talked about not focusing heavily on our weaknesses as a way of wanting to change them, because the goal from a build your business standpoint is not to change your weaknesses. All right, that's too much. It's more about knowing them and then figuring out how to operate with them. That was day 3. So today we're talking about day 4, and day 4 is all about knowing the problem that you solve, right? So again, a lot of times, many of the people that I encounter in terms of business are in the service industry, not necessarily social service kind of stuff. Not everybody's not in that realm, but they're wanting to do like coaching, or they're wanting to do a business that has a lot of services and less products, I guess is what I'm saying. Instead of, I don't have a lot of people in my circle that are more brick and mortar kind of people. I have more that are online businesses, basically. And what I find is that people are wanting to build the business around their passion, when really it has to be around your gift, and you have to know the problem that you solve. So it's great that you're going to help people, right? You know, anybody who knows me, I'm all about helping people, right? It's great that you help people, and it's great that you want to create products, but you have to know this very specific problem that you solve. And this is one of the things that I personally did wrong, is that because I love content creation with all of my soul, right? I love the creation process. It's just, I love it. And so I started creating products and brainstorming and mind mapping and all this stuff around what I wanted to produce, but I had skipped some of these other steps ahead of time. And so, you know, is it the end of the world if you've done that? No, it's not. But these steps are just meant to save you a little bit of time, a little bit of frustration, a little bit of money. Because if you don't know, really, does he have to do that while I'm doing my video? I guess I'm gonna have to go in the house so y'all can hear me. That's just African Americans. First of all, he's not African American, he's Mexican, but whatever. I done dropped my iPad, Jesus. Okay, so he stopped. So a lot of times I find that people, myself included, are creating products or wanting to design their business around their passion. And in the midst of all of that, they're not 1,000% sure about the problem that they solve. Normally it's more focused on, oh, I want to help people do this, or I want to help people do that, or I want to help, which is cool, but you have to put that in terms of a problem, right? Like, so let's just say you want to help people lose weight. Well, number one, what's the problem? Why are people not losing weight on their own? Right? Like, what's the issue that they're having where they need your services? And that's the part that I feel like we frequently miss as new entrepreneurs, is getting crystal clear on the problem. Not what we're going to provide, not the benefits of working with us. We could pretty much tell you all that stuff, but the part that, I mean, you ought to be able to say the problem that you solve in one sentence, right? You ought to be able to say it pretty clear. And we all go through this as new entrepreneurs, myself included. But the goal here is to get crystal clear on the problem that you solve. So if you decide you want to help people lose weight, then you have to put that in terms of a problem. The problem with people who are overweight is, and you want to frame it a little different, right? I still got the itis, so don't come for me. But it just starts by exploring what's the gift that you have, and how is that a problem? How do you, so if my gift, so I talked about this the other day, my gift is strategy and my gift is teaching, right? So that's great, I know my gift, but what's the problem that I'm trying to solve, right? What are the pain points that people have as to why they even need teaching or they even need strategy? Right? And so part of that plays into who your ideal client is, but you should know, you should have a good idea of the problem that you solve, even without being 1,000% sure on your ideal client. Once you know who your ideal client is, which is step 5, then you get crystal clear on the problem that you solve, right? But if I know what my gift is, So for me, I like helping people transition, right? Go from one level to the next. So I started with just the word transition because that's all I had in terms of problem, right? I'm like, okay, transition, transition, transition. And the more that I broke the word transition down and looked at who I wanted to help, it gave me a better idea of the problem that I solve, right? So you got to get crystal clear on the problem that you solve. And all of these 5 steps that I'm sharing with you, the reason why I'm telling you this is because it will save you a lot of time and energy if you know these things from the beginning. Because everything you do is based on these 5 things, right? So your marketing, your sales, your hiring, your team, like all these different things that come into business that you are going to have to do, they matter. But if you don't know who your ideal client is, you don't know the legacy you want to leave, you don't know what your gift is, like you're not going to be super successful. Or let me not even say you're not going to be super successful. What I am going to say is that, number one, you're going to be more frustrated than happy with your business, and you're going to spend money and time and energy and increase your own frustration because you haven't done these things, right? I think there can be people who are successful around their passion, but doesn't make them happy necessarily, because there's a lot of things to business that you don't like. There's a lot of stuff to business that I don't like, right? And if I don't learn to stick to the thing that I'm most gifted at, and let other people on my team do the things that I'm less gifted at or just less patient with or whatever, then it causes a level of frustration, even if I'm able to bring revenue in, right? So that is step 4. Be clear about the problem that you solve. Start doing that by looking at your gift and what does your gift allow you to do. You can start with who you help, and you can start with the kind of products that you not start with. And you can look at who you want to help, and you can look at the kind of products that you want to develop, and all of that is going to help you get clearer with your problem that you solve. But ultimately, you have to get super clear about the problem that you solve, because again, your entire business is based on the problem that you solve. We're in the business of solving problems, right? So spend a little time getting crystal clear on that. I hope you guys are enjoying your holiday. I will jump back on later to give you step 5. We are going to be talking about ideal clients. Also, I'm doing a Black Friday sale. I almost forgot to mention that. The Black Friday sale is for a how-to guide, right? From same thing, employee to entrepreneur, startup guide for people who are either still working their 9-to-5 and building a business alongside, or who are very early in their business and feel like they need some of the foundational things, some of which I'm talking about on these videos. But of course, the guide goes into much more detail and has additional steps. So you can see it on my page. If you go to LachelleBarnett.com, you can sign up for it there. It's $49. It's usually $99, so I'm doing 50% off today. I think it's a really great guide for those people who are new, because again, I see a lot of overwhelm in my circles, right? I just don't know where to start, and I don't know which I should do first and which is more important. Should I be looking at this, or should I? And the guide is going to again take you through a step-by-step process and eliminate all of that confusion. So check it out, and I will jump back on later on. I might take a nap. Never mind. Don't judge me. I'll see y'all later. Peace.